Hey guys, SunDownRider here. This is going to be my chapter review to... Let me just move my mic. This is going to be my chapter review to One Punch Man 91 Rover. Now, as usual, this chapter was dope. I really enjoyed the chapter, but even more so because we focused almost entirely on Garo, and it was just fun to see. I mean, like seeing Garo, we saw like 2 panels or 2 pages even of Saitama in this chapter. We saw nothing else, just Garo going in, getting his ass whooped, and doing the ass whooping. It was so much fun to see. So let's talk straight about it, because it's like 61 pages, and it's actually quite a lot to get through. Even though it's not, this one's more page by page, but it's not too much to get through. It's quite a lot still though. So the chapter starts where we left off last chapter, with Garo and Tadao confronting this dog-like creature that we know is an executive member of the Monsters Association, but they don't know, and we know that it's a dragon class monster. So Garo, sweating buckets, just looking at this thing. He's like, holy shit, what the hell am I supposed to do with this thing? And he can sense pretty much how strong this beast is. And using his kind of own sense of like unique wisdom, Garo treats the creature like a dog because it looks like a dog, and backs away with Tadao slowly, trying his best not to excite the beast or to really encourage a response from the dog. So doing this, they actually gain some distance from the beast, and I was somewhat annoyed by this to begin with before I read the rest of the chapter or the next page, because all I was thinking was, this better not be like how they escape. Garo needs to make this fight, needs to be in this fight so he can develop, so that we can see him kicking some ass later on down the line. So just as Garo they get quite a bit of distance, like I said, Garo and Tadao, and Garo kind of relaxes. He lets down his shoulders, and he's like, yeah, we're okay, let's just carry on doing what we're doing. And then suddenly this huge muscular rat mouse thing on 2 legs, so think Splinter from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, like as a power lifter, and he tries to end Tadao's career. He just punches a hole through the wall, and Tadao was right in front of him, and Garo just kind of nudges him backwards, saving his life once more. Now, they're then attacked by this walking stalactite looking thing, but Garo actually counters this one attack. He was prepared for this one. However, the stalactite looking dude is saved by like this burst of boiling water, driving Garo away from his kill shot, which would have been a knee to the head. So to set the scene, this is what we have. We have 3 hilarious demon level monsters against Garo, and they now assume that Garo is on the side of the humans, but we know that he's kind of on nobody's side, much like an Ent from Lord of the Rings. And we find out their names and kind of their backstories, mostly for the mouse rat looking thing. But the first of them, not chronologically, but the one who attacks first, is Demon Narwhal, and much like a narwhal whale, he has a horn which he's excessively proud of, and it's vaunted as being like indestructible, impossible to break, and it's the strongest horn in the world. And he attacks Garo first, so you'd know that he was going to be the first to get wrecked twice. So we then have the demon showerhead, which I thought was pretty funny. A showerhead with a control dial in humanoid form. Literally, he's humanoid. He has a control dial in his in the middle of his chest. That's literally just to turn him on and off, which is a weird thing. But he looks funny. He has a shower for a head, hence the demon shower head. He looks funny, but his power is actually pretty decent. He can alter the water in his body and spray it out at his opponent through his shower head, changing not just the temperature but also the chemical composition and the pressure of the water. So it's pretty cool. He can shoot out essentially liquid adhesive and sulfuric acid, and quite a scary fellow for a normal human being. And finally we have Demon Ultra Mouse, who is Splinter from, like I mentioned before, from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but on some serious mass gainer. I mean, like, this guy, due to being experimented on, he has superior intellect, an extreme amount of muscle mass, fast regeneration, and a really cocky attitude. But obviously this is nothing new to Garo. He's been ganged up on before, and these are just demon level monsters. He'll take him out, especially since he's grown from taking out Royal Ripper. So he sidesteps and wrecks Narwhal. He breaks Showerhead's face, and in a brilliantly drawn panel, he uses kind of like mirror force on Ultra Mouse's attack, creating huge lacerations up Ultra Mouse's arm, and actually even cutting his face a bit. And it's really here that Wan and Murata use Tadao as a device to tell the audience that Garo is getting stronger exponentially, even though it's something we already know. Tadao's just there to kind of reassert the point, and it's something, like I said, that we as readers have noticed anyway, but it's always cool to see a character within the story cement cement something that we've observed as something that they've thought as well. So Garo and the monsters then get in a conversation discussing the disaster level power scale and how the Monster Association seems to value it so much. Now, this is obviously mostly because Gyoro rates his fighters and pits them against heroes of the same caliber or slightly lesser, and he pits them in such a way that he knows his monsters will win. So appropriately ranking his army is correct, and it's the right thing to do, and that's why he places so much value in the disaster rankings. However, Garo then says that he must be a dragon, which is cocky, but I'd love to see one of these guys even try to take him down, because Garo's an absolute beast. We know he can be as cocky as he wants when he's walking the walk. So the three monsters then go in for a combination attack. Narwhal folds himself into essentially a giant sniper bullet, which is, but it's incredibly pointed around the top. Ultramouse uses his superior strength to launch Narwhal straight towards Garo as kind of like a spear, but the attack was made even more cool because it was a cool looking attack when Showerhead shoots a highly pressurized stream of water into Narwhal's back, propelling him even further. Now this was a really cool attack, but unfortunately, like I said, as cool as the attack looked, Garo easily dodges the attack, having gained experience in his fight against the A-class hero Stinger, and it was a very, very similar move in terms of like a spear thrust and a spear throw. So, like I said, unfortunately, Narwhal flies right in the direction of that demonic dog we saw earlier, the Executive, who at that point in time I didn't know the name of. Now, he flies right towards this dog, and it's assumed he must have hit the dog, because all we get in return is this huge kind of crashing, screaming sound, and all we see is Narwhal's head thrown back towards Garo and just rolling along the ground, lifeless. And I was like, oh shit. And that's pretty much the same reaction that everyone else has. Ultramouse and Showerhead realize the kind of gravity of the situation, while Garo is shocked that dog is an executive, and they're like, shit, what the hell? So we then see the dog, whose name is Overgrown Rover, unleash a destructive ball of energy straight towards Garo and company. And I was like, oh my god, the artwork that Murata constantly just pumps out every couple of weeks now, almost. I think it's only been like a couple of weeks since the last chapter came out, but his artwork is just immensely sick. So yeah, we see this dog, Overgrown Rover, pump out this destructive ball of energy straight towards Garo and company, and Garo makes the sensible decision to grab Taro and run, whilst Ultramouse and Showerhead they just get vaporized. In fact, the attack was so strong that Saitama feels it as an earthquake, seeing as he lives in Z City, and I love how few shits Saitama gives. You know, he's eager to finish his manga volume before going out to even go on a patrol. He's like, yeah, I'll go out on a patrol, let me just finish this chapter. So I was like, what a guy. So we go back to Garo, who has somehow survived with Tario. I don't know how he actually survives, because they were in a very narrow pathway trying to get back out of the Monster Association. He tells Tario at this point to get the hell out of harm's way, almost bullying the kid into leaving the Monster Association. And you kind of feel for Tario, but you know that in a fight against an executive, Garo had no choice but to get Tario the hell out of there and the hell out of Danger's way so that he could fight to his full extent as well. Rover tries to fire another energy blast towards Tario, who's on the run now, but Garo gains the attention of this demonic dog, and he saves Tario once again. However, Garo here is caught off guard. He's punching the demonic dog's leg. He's punching Rover's leg. But he leaves no room for himself to escape, and he just gets caught off guard, and he gets popped, demolished by an energy blast, sending him rocketing through the floors of the Monster Association. And I was like, oh my goodness, it was such once again, really, really good artwork. So we see Garo thinking a million thoughts at once, obviously panicking because of the strength of Overgrown Rover, and because he thinks he's on the brink of death. And we get this quick one-panel flashback showing us a young Garo in front of the TV, kind of hope clenched in his fist, reacting positively to something on TV. I'm not quite sure what to make of this part. Maybe, on the verge of death, he's just remembering things from his past. So as the smoke and dust clears, we see Overgrown Rover peering down into the depths of the destruction that he's just caused and created, and we see Garo kind of just stood there, still showing his fighting spirit, stood at the bottom, arms draped, bleeding heavily, but still looking awesome as hell. And I was like, oh my god, this is going to be sick, because I knew that was only at like page 30-40, so we still had like 20 pages to go. So the fight continues. Overgrown Rover I've written Overgrown Dog. So Overgrown Rover fires energy blasts at will now, with Garo dodging, really trying to keep himself out of harm's way, just barely alive. I really love this entire scene with the desperation of Garo and really the playfulness of Overgrown Rover. But Overgrown Rover did just look like an absolute beast, and once again Garo was on the ropes. But we all know that when Garo is on the ropes and he's pushed into a corner, that's when the real beast bares his fangs, and I was just waiting for Garo to do something. And this is pretty much exactly what happens. Overgrown Rover fires so many shots with so much power that he sends ripples through Z City, but this also causes him to lose sight of Garo, with so much rubble, dust and smoke just flying around in the air, hanging in the air. And we see Garo actually hanging by an arm, well out of harm's way, right above Overgrown Rover. And this is where I got shook. I got madly shook here. So Garo lets go of the little ledge that he's hanging off of, and he plummets straight towards Rover, and he's like increasing acceleration due to the, that's just how gravity works, and using all of this force, power, acceleration and his own power, he delivers a disgusting straight punch right into the top of Rover's head, smacking it into the ground. The ground actually cracks beneath the force of this punch, and I thought it was game over. I was shook. I was like, oh my god, a dragon level executive just got taken out. What the hell? I was like, yo, Garo is too sick. We can't stop the guy. But then 2 panels later, Rover shakes off the attack, grabs Garo by the leg, smacks him around, and then sends him straight to the depths of the Monster Association with another energy blast. And once again, this attack shakes the foundations of the Z City, and we see Saitama just still not giving a shit, reading his manga, and he's just there. He was just put in this chapter for the shits and giggles, you can tell. And it turns out that Garo crashed right into, he was shot right into Gyoro's chamber, where even Gyoro was surprised to see that the intruder was Garo. Surprised, but also very happy to see that his experiment in Garo is going so well. So Gyoro removes all the debris trapping Garo, revealing his psychic abilities, and we've already seen that he's more of a cognitive monster, so these abilities suit him well. I also liked how Gyoro and Garo were kind of just taking notes of each other, little mental notes of each other, both as wary of each other as the other. But Gyoro is also super impressed by how much Garo has grown in the time since he's last seen him, which has only been like a day or two. But like I said, he seems to also be incredibly wary of Garo's increase in strength, and he needs to make sure that his creation doesn't really bite him in the ass. So he paralyzes Garo using some sort of strange technique. We've not seen this before. And he then invites Garo to have a small chat with him. Here we find out that Gyoro is indeed a dragon level monster. So he's absolutely no slouch. And this is going to be an awesome battle for the heroes, I think, in the future. Because mostly because I think everyone outside of S-Class and even a few of the S-Class heroes stand no chance against the Monster Association at this moment in time. There are too many dragon level executives, and especially with Gyoro there with that kind of cognitive strategic monster leading them essentially, and he's also a dragon level monster, so they can't just take him out and then expect the monsters to kind of flail around in disarray. It's gonna be lit, it's gonna be so good. But when Saitama kind of just drops down into the Monster Association under the radar, it's game over for the Monster Association, so I can't wait for that. But in terms of what Gyoro is going to discuss with Garo, it could be a couple of things. I think he's gonna probably discuss exactly that. Maybe he's gonna inform Garo of him being kind of like an experiment to become the next Demon King of Monster King of sorts. Maybe he might kind of fill him in on some of the experiments that he's running on him and really what he expects out of him. Maybe he's gonna clarify exactly how he's becoming a monster and what type of monster he's gonna become. Maybe he's gonna do all of that stuff. But in terms of what else he could discuss, I'm not too sure. I had a good idea, it's just flown out of my mind. But yeah, maybe he's even going to discuss, actually yeah, that was the idea, maybe he's going to discuss with Garo the oncoming or the incoming, the war that's coming with the Hero Association and Garo's part to play in that. And really it's Garo's choice to decide whether he wants to fight on the side of the humans or the monsters. But I think this is where Gyoro is going to use that silver tongue of his and really try and persuade Garo to fight on their side. And he's going to really try and I think he's going to showcase kind of like the good sides of the monsters and the negatives of the heroes. And Garo doesn't need too much pushing. He already kind of holds humanity and the heroes in disdain because of their lack of morals and because of their lack of strength. But I think the Gyoro will be able to sway him quite easily, especially considering how weak Garo is at this moment in time. But yeah, that's going to be something to see, and I can't wait for that kind of the parallels of not even the parallels. I can't wait to see Garo make the decision of, I'm going to fight for the monsters, let's go, because then that's going to be amazing when he's like against S-class heroes and we get to see Garo just go all out. So yeah, let me know what you guys thought of the chapter. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I think that should be it for this week because it's Golden Week. I was actually surprised this chapter came out, but I don't think this... Actually, it is in Shonen. It's in like Shonen Young or Shonen Kids or whatever. But yeah, that's all I have to say on this, and I'll see you guys in a bit.